Hey, it's Brad and Joe from BJ Garage. I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on the builds we have going on over here. We got the Murray Select motor, and we have the Craftsvarna over there. We're going to start off giving you an update on the Murray. As you can see, the Murray is quite dirty. We've been riding it around our backyard, just trying to put it through the paces. Really can't get it through into every gear because it's pretty fast and it gets a little bit hairy in the backyard. But putting it through its paces, trying to get all of our weak points out, in an effort to make sure that nothing's going to happen when we're out in the woods. One of the things that we've done recently is switch to a Kevlar belt. We've learned that it has made a huge difference in the performance of our clutch system. Not only does it not stretch, but it also just bites better from what we have seen. As you can see, we do have a small, I believe it's 2.90 pulley on the rear. So we really need to get as much traction as we can on that. The problem we were having with your standard black belt is they would stretch after a few hours of use. I'd say we have, over 10 hours on this belt maybe, and it's been working fine. We have our belt tensioner here. We haven't even had to adjust it yet, and there's no slippage of the belt. You could literally just bog the motor before there's any slip. We did some improvements here to our front end. We reinforced the front axle. As you can see here, these are all of our frame reinforcements that we had to do because at one point in time we had a little incident with a railroad tie where we bent the whole frame. It collapsed on the other side or around here, and we straightened it all and put in these supports. Ever since that, we had a little extra play in this front axle, so we added this reinforcement here, not only to reinforce the axle itself, but to take a little bit of the play out of the front. You'll also see that we do have newer turf savers on the front. The original Murray tires were pretty bald. They were so bad that they were actually ballooning out, but again, you'll see our reinforcements here, and that really takes all the play out of it. It used to wiggle back and forth, and we really don't have that anymore. I also took the bronze bushings out of a Craftsman rim and put them into the Murray rims. They used to be plastic, and we melted them. What else do we got here? Our new engine. Well, this engine already has 17 hours on it, but the 17.5 Briggs, it's been running great. You could see we installed a pull start. This was a part number I got from Redneck Computer Geeks video. Just a pull start, I think, for a generator. Similar 17.5 motor. Works great. Definitely, I think, something that you have to have. I know you can make them out of pulleys, but, I just thought this was a nice, clean install. It does really good on gas, believe it or not. It's the small 1 gallon-ish tank. And we get a lot of hours out of it, Joe. I definitely say. The hour meter. I went through a few cheap ones off Amazon. The square ones. I think they're Solo 2s or something like that. They kept dying on us. I got this one on Amazon. I like it because it lights up, and you can see we have 17.3 hours on the new motor. I would say there's probably about 30 hours on the chassis between testing it and everything. We didn't really do a video on this. We did add a nice shift knob. This is from one of my old Mustangs. It's actually a bullet shift knob, but it came from my 96 Mustang GT. We just welded the right size bolt onto the top of the original shifter arm here, and there was already a hole in this rubber mount, and it actually just worked out perfectly. Let's see what we got here. We added a tether switch. We did make a quick post about this, but we're into having fun and driving these things hard, but safety is an important thing, and we had this thing nearly get away from us a few times, so we decided that a tether switch is really a good and smart thing to have. Our battery mounts have been holding up. The gas pedal has been working out really nice. This is one quick thing I did. I just thought I'd share it with you guys. I took a cigarette lighter from AutoZone. Basically comes this piece right here. Added some extensions on and an inline fuse, and when you're on the trail, if you need some power, you just use these alligator clips and click them on and use them on any tractor. Just a quick thing, I didn't really want to have it out all the time. It was something that I just thought of really quick. I don't know. I thought it was cool. Overall performance of it, I mean, we couldn't be happier. The gearing, I think, maybe a little bit much for riding in off-road terrain. Does in 6th gear at top RPM, we are able to hit around 27 miles an hour. But it's scary, and it does get a little tippy, as you can see. It's quite easy to get up on 3 wheels. So we really don't want to go that fast so much. But it's a lot of fun. The one thing that we really need to improve on is the brakes. Especially running it hard. It's like every time you use it, you got to tighten down on the brakes. So we're going to consider a brake upgrade. Do something where we'll try to weld a bigger rotor onto the original rotor, and a manual caliper from like BMI carts or something like that. Finishing touches on this thing are probably one of the next big things. We're gonna paint it. We did add some spray-on bed liner around the edges here. Basically, wherever we need a little extra traction with your feet, or where we thought we'd be brushing it against a lot. We added some here where the hood rubs against the dash. It's holding up pretty good. I'm quite impressed. But we definitely do want to get a nice finish on this thing eventually. And we do have some cool stickers floating around somewhere.
They're on the welding table, in the back of it.
Sorry, guys.
Table.
We got these stickers made up for it. I think they'll be pretty cool. Try to keep it looking stock. But I think they're gonna look real good once this is all painted up. That should be real cool. Dig it. Other than that, I mean, we're happy with it. I was gonna go and add a winch to it, but to be honest with you, I like it being a nice light little machine. And it's a beast. A lot of you guys ask about the tires on this thing. They're Carsile HD Field Tracks. I believe, I'm fairly certain, they are the original tire for John Deere Gator. These actually had John Deere stickers on them. And frankly, I love these things. You can see they have really deep tread, and it wraps all the way around the side. And I think these make a huge difference. The middle treads, while they're aggressive, they're actually not so bad, where when you're driving around on the lawn, you're not tearing up the grass every time you make a turn because your rear is locked. So we really like these tires. We haven't been able to really stop them yet, to be honest with you. They throw mud when you need them. They're really great. The other thing you might see here is our rear hitch. We got this adapter from Harbor Freight, made our own custom bumper, and we've towed a boat trailer, towed a car around the driveway. I mean, it tows anything. And that's really all we got for the Murray right now. Holding off on taking it into the woods because it's, one person driving it. So we're trying to get this Craftsvarna going. I could cut it and...
So we're off here with the Craftsvarna now. As you can see, we finally got the motor here actually mounted. So this is our Kohler Command, I believe,
Yes.
Command series.
Yep. Kohler Command.
So we've got it all hooked up. We've got the choke cable in, the throttle cable. We built our own gas pedal here. This is actually old deck brakes, where we bent the part that has the pad on it straight, threw a bolt through it, so that's going to be the part that you actually throw your foot on. And the bottom has the cable hooked up to it. Seems to work just fine. We got a nice throw out of it, and gets full throttle, no problem. Eventually, we'll put a plate on this bolt so that you have a lot more to a substantial of a pedal. And hopefully we'll be able to make that so that it rotates a little bit as you press it. Also on this, we actually have been able to finish the steering. We took an auger box from a snowblower, mounted that up in here, and it seems to be working pretty well. We did have a little bit of an issue with it being a little too torquey, being that we raised where the steering box sits. It was a lot higher than it used to be, so when you would actually turn, it would twist the frame down here. So we had to strengthen it up with some of this box steel and mount the box to that box steel so that it wouldn't twist like it did. But you can see that now it works just fine. We're actually, from one lock to the other is 2 full turns. It's not bad at all. You can see that here, going from right lock to left lock. It's actually only 2 turns. It's a little tougher when it's on not moving, so, or you're not sitting on it. Moving on, we got the wiring all done. Come to find out, this Craftsman had a 4-post solenoid, which is a lot simpler than we thought it was going to be, coming from the Murray, which has a 3-post, which is really easy. We didn't realize that these 2 posts, 2 additional posts here, are actually just safety switches, and it's a looped system. So we have that hooked up for a ground, and it seems to work just fine. So now you can see that with all of our wiring and everything set up, it runs like a top so far. We definitely do have to rebuild the carb, clean that out, make sure it's all good to go, get a little bit more longevity, especially being in the woods, beating the crap out of these things like we tend to. We have yet to get to the exhaust, but that's one of the next things in line here. This seems to be 1-inch tubing rather than the 3/4 that's on the Murray, so we're hoping to stay with 1-inch tubing and do the side pipes again. We really like the way that the side pipes look and sound, and with the way this motor sounds already, I think it'll really be awesome. Other than that, let's see, we finally got the pulley off the engine. It was stuck on there with the electric clutch that it came stock with. We ended up having to cut the clutch off and using a 5-ton puller to get that original stock pulley off. We have new pulleys on order. They're both going to be about 5-inch pulleys. It's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio. We still haven't taken the one off the transaxle, but that's because we still have to drop the transaxle and lock it and all that stuff as well. Still also to come, which the Craftsvarna has a long list of things to come. It's just getting started. We also have to do the battery tray, which now is going to have to be altered slightly because of this auger box sitting up higher. We're going to have to bring the battery tray forward a little bit, which means making some new mounts. But hopefully everything will still fit just fine. Additional to all of that, we are going to be installing a bull bar and bumper, which will go in front of this beautiful Husqvarna hood that we stole from the other tractor. So once that's in the front of that, I think it'll look really, really nice. Then we'll get to the Nerf bars and the rear rack and the paint, and she'll be good to go. Hopefully we'll have some test ride videos for you guys soon once we get the pulleys and the transaxle done. Take it easy, guys. We hope you enjoy.
Let us know if you have any questions, feedback, anything. Hope you guys have been enjoying what we do. Peace.